everyone. My name is Annie. I work for Santander at the university branch here in Edinburgh. So I'm just going to give you some information today on banking in the UK. Hopefully answer some questions that you might have and maybe learn something new as well. So we'll run through a few different things today. So I guess the purpose then of the presentation, so we'll run through what you'll need to open a UK bank account in terms of ID, what options are available to you if you're an international student, why a savings account might also be an option for you and why it might be useful, what sort of considerations you have to take into account when opening an account, making and receiving payments using a PIN, bank safety, closing the account once you've finished your course, and Santander universities, so we're a separate division here. Right, so first of all, talking about ID then. So when you open a UK bank account, depending on the bank that you decide to go with, there'll be different requirements for your ID. So some banks won't let you open an account unless you have a 12-month visa for being here in the UK. Standard requirements for your ID, so you'll need your passport with a visa or a 6-month stamp, and you'll also need a permanent UK address, so whether it's uni accommodation, halls or renting privately. At Santander, if you decide to open an account with us, we don't require the 6-month stamp. You'll also need proof that you're a student, so a letter from the University of Acceptance or a bank letter, your UCAS letter or your student ID card as well. So yeah, depending on, again, which bank you go for, you may have to book a time in so that you can open a bank account. So in terms of what sort of options are available to you as an international student, you have what we call basic accounts as well as international student accounts. So a basic account, first of all, will generally come with what we call a cash card. So these can be used in cash machines, but not like a Visa debit card, so not online for purchases and not in shops using the machine. And many of these cards as well you can only use at the ATMs of the particular bank that you've opened the account with, and there's no fee for basic accounts. With international student accounts, they generally will come with a Visa debit card, so one that you can use online and in shops, and you can use at any ATM all around the UK. So they usually come with online banking, phone banking and mobile banking as well, and there's also usually a monthly fee that's associated with the account. So some accounts in the UK will require you to have a 1-year contract, so be sort of tied to the account for 1 year. At Santander you're not locked into anything, so you can close the account once you leave if you're just here for 6 months or whatever else. So some people choose to also open a savings account alongside their student account. So this is a secondary account that you can use to hold money. It's handy if you're looking to apply to extend your visa further down the track, and you can show that you've put money away. So usually savings accounts are free. There's no associated cost with them, and they'll pay a bit of interest, so you can earn some money, on what you have. They can be instant access accounts, so you can access the money how you like. You can, take it when you want it, and there's no minimum sort of amount that you need to put in. Other than that, there are fixed accounts, so you may have heard of a bond or a term deposit, and that's like a lump sum that you have put away for a certain amount of time, maybe 1 year or 2 years, and that can sometimes pay a higher rate of interest. Right, so important things to think about when you're opening an account. So you need to think about the benefits. So how are you going to be able to access your money? Can you use online banking? Can you use phone banking? Is there a banking app that you can use on your phone? Costs, so fees, what are the fees for the transactions? How much is it going to cost to transfer money from your home country if you plan to move money from abroad? And how much does it cost if you're going to deposit a cheque in a foreign currency, in dollars or in euros, for instance. So what kind of card is given to you with the account? Is it a cash card, as I mentioned with basic accounts, or is it a Visa debit card? Are you able to use it abroad? And how much will that cost if that's the case? If the bank account requires you to sign a contract, how long are you signing the contract for? Are you able to close the account at any time? And will you have to pay a fee to close the account if that's the case? How long will it take you to open the account? So how soon will you have your banking details once you've opened the account or signed the application? What else? Yeah, and can you pay money and can you take money out before you have your card, or if you don't have your card for any reason? And then again, how long will it take for your card to arrive? So generally, it takes, with most banks, I think it's quite a standard sort of week that you have before you have the card after opening the account. So receiving money then into the account from abroad. So most commonly, I suppose, is a foreign transfer, so a wire transfer. So this will transfer the money from your bank account at home into the bank account here in the UK. So some banks will charge you a fee to receive the money and to convert it into sterling. Santander won't charge you anything. So you don't have to use the same bank in your own country. That's not a requirement. And the exchange rate will be that of the day that you've done the transfer. So you can also write a foreign cheque, as I said. So write a cheque in the currency that you have your account in at home and deposit that. So this will credit the money from your foreign bank to your UK account, and it can take a little while. So it can take from anything between 6 days and 6 weeks. So that's something to think about as well. And again, your UK bank may charge you a fee to deposit a cheque in another currency. Right. So moving on to PINs. So I imagine that most of you are familiar with PINs, as most cards require them nowadays. So what it is, it's a 4-digit number. It's sent to your address once you've opened the account, and it's used with your card for security at ATMs and for purchases in shops as well. So it's advised that you don't share your PIN with anyone. It's a unique number that only yourself knows. So if you need to change your PIN, you can do that at any ATM. You just select the PIN services option, PIN change or PIN unlock, and of course you can ask staff members at any of the banks. So if you think someone knows your PIN, you should always change it, and if you lose your PIN, you should ask for a replacement as soon as possible as well. Right, so making payments in the UK then. So sending money for your fees, for instance, you can do what we call a faster payment transfer. And this allows you to send the money on the same day. It usually takes up to 2 hours to any other UK bank account, regardless of the bank. So most banks will provide this service to you free of charge. It won't cost you anything. Some banks will not do this in branch, and it can only be done using your online banking. So that's something to think about as well when you're opening an account. So to do that, you'll need the sort code and account number of the account that you're transferring the money to. If it's a larger amount, anything over £5,000, you'll also need ID, so your passport or ID card. Right, so making purchases then in shops and withdrawing money from an ATM. So you can buy something in the shop using your card and the PIN, if it's a Visa debit card. So the PIN is the 4-digit code, and we use that in what we call a chip and PIN terminal. So some ATMs as well in the UK will charge you a fee for withdrawing cash, but a message will pop up on the screen, so just look out for that one. If you're buying things online, it's a card payment, so they'll use the card number, the expiry date, and the security number on the back. You won't need to enter your PIN for online purchases. Yeah, and obviously if you're in doubt that the website you're using isn't secure, just check with your bank. Right, so staying safe while banking in the UK. So what you need to look out for are what we call phishing scams, which are sent through emails. So you need to be wary of any emails alleging to be from your bank. They'll ask you to enter quite a lot of personal information, and it will seem unusual, I would imagine. So never log in through website links found in emails. Always type it in yourself to your browser. So always type the address of the bank yourself into the browser. So obviously keep your card and your PIN safe. Don't tell anyone be safe at the cash machine. Never give your account details or security information to anyone else. Always keep your cards, your receipts from your cards and your statements safe, and then destroy them carefully, so perhaps shredding them is an option. A good website to have a look at if you are looking for more information on this is cardwatch.org.uk. And then choosing a cash machine. So always think about your personal safety when you're choosing an ATM. Be aware of who's around you. If for any reason you feel unsafe, use another ATM. There are plenty around. Okay. Right, so closing your bank account once you've finished studying or you've ended the course. So some banks will require you to sign a 1-year contract, as I mentioned. These accounts may have fees if you do decide to close the account early, so look out for them. You will need to close the account before you leave to go home, so while you're still in the UK, so you can take out all your money or you can have a cheque written to you. There are different options available. It can be quite difficult closing the account from abroad, so if you have already left and you need to phone or go online, it can be a bit tricky, so try and get it sorted before you leave. And you need to keep in mind that you need to leave at least 7 to 10 working days between your last card payment and the closure of your account. That's just so that any pending payments and things like that can be cleared. So that you can close the account, you'll just need to present your bank card and your passport or ID with you. Okay, so as I said, I'm from Santander, so you might have seen our stall out the front this morning. So we work for Santander universities, so we're a global division and we support higher education as a means to contribute to the development of society. So today, over 1,020 universities in many countries across the world are part of this as well. So we help the university and we do lots of funding to outstanding students, supporting entrepreneurship, international mobility and world-class research as well. So you can check out funding opportunities at the University of Edinburgh's website. So it's slightly different to that one, but we've got information if you're after it. Right, so lastly, where to find us. You may be familiar with Potter Row or where Bristow Square is. So we're just there. There's a fair few of us that work there and we're really friendly. So come and say hi and we can give you any information that you're looking for. Okay, that's me. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah?
What are the monthly fees for
They'll vary. The fees will vary with each bank, whoever you decide to go with. For Santander, it's £5 each month.